Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating Goa Liberation Day, which is celebrated on 19th of every December. It is regarded as one of the most significant days in the history of Goa, located at around 250 miles south of Mumbai. Goa is one of India's smallest states and was previously under Portuguese possession for about 450 years The Goa Liberation Day is a celebration of the day Indian Armed Forces freed Goa from Portugal rule on December 19, 1961. The day is also particularly important for recognizing the achievements Goa had made in recent years, accomplishing milestones in the tourism sector and maintaining its position as having the highest per capita income among all the states and union territories of India. Goa Liberation Day is all about celebrating the independence of Goa from Portuguese. Goa is the state of southwestern coast of India with the region known as Konkan. It is bordered by the states of Maharashtra to the north and Karnataka to the east and south, as well as Arabian Sea to the west. Its capital is Panaji, which lies on the north central coast of the mainland district. After being freed from Portuguese possession, it became a part of India in 1962 and was officially recognized as an independent nation in 1987. On August 15, 1947, when India gained its independence, Goa was still crumbling under 450 years of Portuguese rule. The Portuguese were among the first to colonize parts of India and refused to give up their hold over Goa and other Indian territories, even in the wake of India's independence. Following a myriad of unsuccessful negotiations and diplomatic efforts with Portuguese, the former Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, decided that military intervention was their only option. The 36-hour military operation conducted from December 18, 1961 was codenamed Operation Vijay, meaning Operation Victory, and involved attacks by the Indian Navy, Air Force, and Army. During this historic moment, India troops reclaimed the Goa territory with little resistance, and General Manuel Antonio Vezlo e Silva signed the certificate of surrender. 451 years of Portuguese rule in the region officially came to an end, and territory was taken back by India on December 19, 1961. However, the action incited mixed responses internationally at that time. Through many praised the move and backed India, others, including Portugal, criticized the Indian forces' invasion of Goa. Now, Goa Liberation Day is marked by an abundance of events and festivities in Goa. A torchlight procession is ignited from 3 different locations in the state, eventually all meeting at Azad Maida. This is where a tribute is made to those who lost their lives in takeover of Goa. Various cultural programs like Sugam Sandeep, an Indian musical genre with poetry in the Kannada language, are also held to honor the occasion. So despite present day Goa being India's smallest state by area, Goa's history is long and diverse. Usgalimal rock engravings exhibit some of the earliest traces of human settlement in India, and the Mauryan and Satavahana empires ruled modern day Goa during the Iron Age. The Portuguese invade Goa when the governor of Portuguese India, Afonso de Albuquerque, captures the city. Even though Goa is not among the cities Albuquerque was ordered to take over. India becomes an independent nation after British colonial rule for almost 200 years. Despite this, the Portuguese refused to give up Goa in 1947. So Indian troops reclaimed the Goan territory, officially ending 451 years of Portuguese rule in region in 1961. Regarded as one of the most significant days in the history of Goa, also considered as forgotten war of freedom, December 19 commemorates the freeing of Goa from Portuguese rule by the Indian Armed Forces and the complete independence of the Indian subcontinent. The origin of the city name Goa is unclear. In ancient literature, Goa was known by many names, such as Gomanchala, Gopakapattana, Gopanapattanam, Gopakapattam, Gopakapuri, Govapuri, Govem, and Gomantak. Other historical names for Goa are Sindapur, Sandapur, and Mahasapatnam. So the Portuguese controlled Goa until 1961 when India took over. Only a very small fraction of Goans speak Portuguese nowadays. Although an essential religious language, 1500 students were learning Portuguese in Goa in 2015, totaling around 10,000 to 12,000 Portuguese speakers in the state. So if you are from Goa or India or just generally love anything about Goa, consider attending the annual torchlight processions that take place on Goa Liberation Day. The day is celebrated with joy and enthusiasm and is kicked off with these processions. The three separate parades following the torchlights lit from three different locations are so spectacular. You would wish you could witness all of them at once. All the torchlight processions and parades culminate at the Azad Maidan, where respects are paid to the martyrs who fought in the struggle for independence. The Sugam Sangeet is one of the cultural programs held on Goa Liberation Day. This is a form of classical vocal music that incorporates words with a different rhythm or style. This Indian musical genre is a poetic expression and a wonderful part of the liberation celebrations for the Goan people. Be sure to listen online and enjoy it. Goa has a rich and diverse history dating back to prehistoric times. Amazingly, prehistoric engravings at Uzgalimal were discovered in the early 1990s and studied by the Institute of Oceanography in Goa. There is even evidence of a prehistoric Goan shamanic practice after various dynasties ruled Goa. The era of Portuguese autocratic rule began in 1510 after the Vasco da Gama fleet landed in Calicut, with Goa becoming the center of Portuguese control in India. Portuguese influence can still be seen in the Goan culture of today. Goa not only consists of long sandy beaches, around 20% of the land falls within the beautiful Western Ghats of India, a vast mountain range and a treasure trove of biodiversity. India became an independent country free from British rule in 1947. Goa celebrates this as well as their state independence from the Portuguese in 1961. There are 6 conservation areas where visitors can explore wildlife, which contain rare birds, including the long-billed vulture, darter, great-pied hornbill, and many more. With over 400 species of birds. Goa boasts one of the India's largest waterfalls, the Dudhsagar Falls, which is 1,017 feet high and can be found on the far east side of the state. Some of the oldest rocks in India can be found in Goa between Molam and Anmol, classified as the Trondhjematic Genesis. These rocks are over 3,600 million years ago. It's a paradise in India. There is so much more to Goa than beaches and the parties. It is a famous honeymoon and holiday destination with boundless greenery, alluring old landmarks, and endless oceans. Goa, in many ways, is the paradise of India. India's most important that such a place celebrates its independence and culture. We have said it many times, but it's true. Celebrating Goa Liberation Day means to celebrate Goa and its fascinating history that makes the state what it is today. It has been ruled by many dynasties and not just by Portuguese. You can trace this if you are ever lucky enough to visit. The state was under the rule of Kadambas for 300 years, and it has various monuments that were built in that era. The most famous among them, Tamdi Surla. Goa, in many ways, different from the rest of the India with its own culture and rules. One of these is that it is the only state in India that allows a two-wheeler taxi. All you have to do is pay the biker, that is pilot, and ask him to drop you at the desired location. Now, of course, we have all types of Ola, Uber, and Uber, and all other various two-wheeler taxi as well. But initially, it was in Goa that this kind of system was available, and that was great idea for cost-effective traveling too for just one person. Today is also commemorated as look for an evergreen day in US. If you still haven't hunted down your Christmas tree, then you are in luck with look for an evergreen day on December 9th. You can always go for an artificial tree, but let's be honest, there is nothing like the sight and scent of a freshly cut tree to get into the spirit of Christmas. But here, a word of caution, a lot of Christmas trees contribute to a lot of deforestation and loss of biodiversity. And also, Christmas trees are prone to a lot of pests. A lot of pest management is required, and it takes long years and till the Christmas trees are harvested. The land fertility, the land productivity also goes off. Instead of growing something that is useful, which can feed and reduce hunger deaths, and nothing grows under the Christmas tree. A lot of these Christmas farms have to be grown exclusively for Christmas trees. And because of these, lot of deforestation happens. So what can be done? You can keep the same tree every year. You can grow it in your backyard or make some arrangement that you don't throw away the Christmas tree. You can have it in your backyard or you maintain it every year instead of, cutting down one tree and planting every tree. What you can, and also at the same time, if you are using plastic trees, how much plastic is generated on the next day of Christmas, because all these plastic in the form of Christmas trees, all this plastic and all toxic materials which are across the world, because this is not just one place where it is celebrated. Across the world, can you imagine how much waste we are generating across the world, and that too in the name of celebrations, and we are causing a huge threat, hazard to the environment. So what we can do? We can do is to have natural tree and use that tree every year. You can grow it in your backyard or front yard, wherever there is space, and use that tree for years together as long as the tree is alive. So this way, we will be contributing to the environment without, without foregoing any belief systems or practices or traditions. See, we all are moving towards sustainable ways of celebrating various festivals. So we have to take initiatives now, or it's never, because the climate change is already, we can see the impact of climate change across the planet. And if we do not take an immediate action, then the coming days are not going to be so easy for anyone on the planet. So in this way, what we can do is we can contribute whatever we can do on this Christmas. So let's everyone take pledge that from now onwards, whatever happened is happened. That is the past. But now onwards, let's not cut down a lot of these Christmas trees in the name of celebrations. Instead, use one tree, or even if you are using a plastic tree, use it. Plastic will not get spoiled, even for thousands of years. It will not get degraded. So if you buy one tree, a plastic tree of a good one, you can use it for generations and generations and generations together. So that will be a great, memory that you will be giving to your generations, that, the tree which was worshipped and taken care of your ancestors, and you are still possessing it. That's a great, pride, sense of pride. So we need to evolve in such kind of alternatives where it is more eco-friendly and it is not generating any pollution. So holiday trees are generally spruces, pines, and firs, but the varieties have evolved over time for more personalized preferences. Evergreens have been essential in societies throughout the ages. Their apparent eternal nature, even in harsh seasons, have been made them choice for religious practices and observances. And such is the importance of their role. The Native Americans who resided in the Pacific Northwest were completely dependent on the red cedar tree for various vital uses, such as making clothes, ropes, and fishing lines, and build canoes or huts. And going back further in history, a lot of people are familiar with how the philosopher Socrates drank a cup of hemlock tea without flinching once. If you don't know, hemlock is a type of evergreen with tiny pointy needles. So, yes, even though the chances of you being in such a situation are quite slim, it is important that you can identify between evergreens. So the first time that an evergreen tree was ever decorated was in 1510 in Riga, Latvia. From the 18th century onwards, jingle bells, tinsels, ornaments, fairy lights, and garlands were being used for decorations. An evergreen tree is decorated for the first time in Riga, Latvia in 1510, and Germany initiates the Christmas tree tradition by bringing decorated trees into their homes in 1600. Since then, a lot of this tradition has gone, creating a lot of pollution and deforestation and lot of effects. In coming days, we'll look into that also. But we can always choose having one tree for generations together. That will prevent, so that will not go against the belief systems or practices. At the same time, we will be contributing to the environment. So there was earlier no such things like Christmas trees until the Germans initiated the Christmas tree tradition. So it was started by someone, and it can also be ended by someone or by everyone, which is causing, a lot of waste and pollution to the planet. Otherwise, we can find some other alternative where the tradition still continues, but in a much eco-friendly, natural way. So in 1848, the Christmas tree became popular as the Christmas tree rises to popularity after a family portrait of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert standing around a Christmas tree with their children is featured in the Illustrated London. 1948, tallest evergreen is displayed. A Norway spruce tree was displayed at the Rockefeller Center. So some of the most popular types of evergreen trees are Photinia ex fraseri or red robin, Cardiline australis, Acacia dealbata, Eucalyptus pauciflorus, Subsnifolia, Quercus ilex alternensis or golden king, Mongolia grandiflora, Metanus borea. These mango trees are evergreen and thrive in sunshine and drought conditions. Evergreen means plants that continue to retain the texture and color of their foliage year round, as opposed to abscission, losing their foliage as the seasons change. So nature is full of wonderful living things that often go unnoticed by the average person. Look up different types of evergreen and look for them. The holiday season is one of the best times to find different kinds of evergreen trees everywhere. If you don't want to actively search for types of evergreen trees, just head on to the favorite park and marvel at these incredible trees, which have the ability to bring life and color to the grayest and most dismissal of winters with their rich shades of green. After you have found your perfect soulmate, decorate it with favorite Christmas lights and ornaments and share photos of it on your social media accounts or celebrate in whatever way you like to in an eco-friendly, natural manner. So more shades than just green. These trees comes in different shades. The blue spruce, for an example, is an evergreen tree with silver blue needles. Evergreen trees are found on every continent except in Antarctica. And as the name suggests, evergreen trees can even survive conditions of drought, which is true to its name. Other than locking lovely evergreens, provide lumber ingredients for medicinal purposes and firewood. Growing over 380 feet tall, California redwood trees are the tallest trees in the world. The amount, the most wonderful time of the year has countless traditions. While the Christmas tree is the center of tradition, it is a great that the trees themselves are given appreciation outside of their stunning lightning and decor. As much as we love Christmas, preparations can get really hectic and crazy. In buying a Christmas tree is still pending. Look for an evergreen day, ensures everyone gets a tree in time. Today is also commemorated as National Emo Day in US. For many people, the word emo describes a sad teenager who dresses in a very deliberate way. But the emo subculture has a long storied history that reaches back to the 1980s and continues to resonate today. On National Emo Day, we recognize the rich complexities of the emo movement and gain a greater appreciation of its place in popular music. So the Hard Luck punk band released their only album, which later emo artists would cite as important influence. 1985, Rites of Spring. Weezer's Sophomore album received generally negative reviews, but young kids just getting into alternative music turned out in big numbers. The album helped establish the emo look and aesthetic in 1996. So this year saw huge sales for Jimmy Eat World and Weezer albums, causing Spin Magazine to declare it the year Emo's mainstream breakthrough in 2002. Aesthetically pleasing images of emo fashion and lifestyle began circulating on the social network site Orkut 2004 viral emo images, followed by My Chemical Romance. The used take a shuffle through what emo has to offer. You might be surprised by what you find. Listen to some emo. We are guessing you went through a bit of emo phase and you might still have some tight black t-shirts and white belt somewhere. Throw them and ignore the haters. Raid your closet, put on your emo gear if you like it or if you have been using it. So again, emo kids, seriously, they look so sad. Show them some love. The default millennial piercing option was adopted by, you guessed it, the emo community, ear gauges, or whatever, however it is pronounced. And emos pioneered the art of self-photography before phones even had a selfie camera. The official Zeros pant style for both men and women started in the emo community first. So the part of the fun, of course, from harsh DC emo to plaintive Midwestern emo to emo pop, emo rap, and screamo, there's emo for every taste. Part of the reason emo fashion caught on is that it's hard to look bad in it. Slimming black shirts, skinny jeans, retro sneakers, and just go easy on the piercings. And many proper adults find emo self indulgent and depressing, but for a young person struggling with lot of volatile new emotions, emo's honesty, earnestness, and willingness to tackle tough subjects are a breath of fresh air in an otherwise sterile pop landscape. Today is also commemorated as National Hard Candy Day in US. Put the peanut butter balls and sugar cookies down because December 19 is all about the hard stuff. It can be safely said that the hard candy has been long a preferred sweetener by many societies. In the medieval period, sugar, the only true ingredient in candy, was prohibitively expensive. Thus, the Jolly Ranchers and blow pops of the Dark Ages were reserved for the royal and the wealthy. Quite a difference from the penny candy you pick up for cents on the dollar today. Over the years, confectioners have refined the process to an exact science. And we now know exactly how hot we need the sugar to create sweet, sticky, crunchy, and cracking hard candy to get your Tootsie Pops and your toothbrushes ready. So 13th century crystalline sugar candy was being prepared and sold in countries rich in sugar cane. In 13th century, John Miller started a bakery in Leith and shortly after started producing licorice and blackcurrant hard candy in 1844. In the subcontinent now partitioned as India and Pakistan, chikkis became a popular hard candy with molten sugar mixed with various dry fruit. In 1900s, the first candy making machine was invented by a pharmacist to crank out candy lozenges in 1947. So making your own hard candy isn't typically the first thing we think of when coming up with homemade goods, but lollipops could easily make their way onto that list. As long as you can find a mold, they are available in baking shops or online. You can buy the ingredients for lollipops in a grocery store. Then it is just a matter of mixing, melting, and pouring. Choose which colors and flavors suit the best. And you could even suspend something in the middle, gum, edible flowers, petals, or insects for the adventurous. All are great ideas. It is the holiday season, and thanks to the hard candy's brilliant colors, there's more to these sweets than just eating. Find a clear vase with a funky shape, an old bottle with a wide mouth, or any other container, and fill it with whatever candy looks best. If wrappers are all the same color, this can still give off a gift theme vibe. If you are dyed in a Woolworths fan, maybe it's time to venture out of candy cane coach and into lemon drop lane. There's a whole world of hard candies out there, from fruit flavored to chocolate cream, and even more obscure flavors like wildflowers, cinnamon, and you never know what your next favorite might be. Of course, not every hard candy can claim to be a good for body, but there are reasons why hard candy takes the form it is does today. Originally, hard candies made with lemon or peppermint were likely given to the patients with stomach problems. The slow release of these ingredients, which are known as stomach remedies, and is a still great way to ingest them. So just tell your dentist all those Christmas time candy canes were helping your indigestion. But not every, every candy is like that. So finally, today is commemorated as National Heroes and Heroines Day in UK, in the island nation of Anguilla. The day is an opportunity to remember and appreciate all efforts of people who made significant contributions to the nation. Their contributions have had a substantial impact on Anguilla's history. They have also made a significant sacrifices for the country's, its citizens' prosperity. National Heroes and Heroines Day also honors 1961 Anguilla Revolution. There are memorial services that are held for those involved. Parades and music performance follow the memorial services. The whole day is a time for joy rather than solemn remembrance. Anguilla, located in Eastern Caribbean, is a British overseas territory. The islands of St. Kitts and Nevis joined the nation of Anguilla as an associated statehood in 1962. Some resentment against this political decision made the people of Anguilla march on the police headquarters. They evicted the Royal St. Kitts police force from the island in May 1967. Anguilla was able to secede from the association on December 19, 1980. This day was declared a public holiday and was called Separation Day. The aim was to celebrate the anniversary of the political separation of Anguilla from the territory of Saint Christopher Nevis Anguilla. The government of Anguilla changed Separation Day to National Heroes and Heroines Day. The holiday falls just before Christmas, making it a busy time for the island. They get many tourists who visit to catch some winter sun during the holidays. Several nations in the Caribbean had the version of National Heroes Day. Anguilla is the only nation to mention the female version of heroes in their holiday. When used in plural, heroes is an acceptable group term for both sexes. In most countries, Heroes Day or National Heroes Day may refer to many commemorations of national heroes. The holiday usually falls on the birthday of national hero or heroine. It can occur on the anniversary of their great deeds that made them heroes. Anguilla's currency is the Eastern Caribbean dollar. The US dollar is also widely accepted, and Anguilla has electricity. It is supplied by the Anguilla Electricity Company. There is a national police force in Anguilla. They are called Royal Anguilla Police Force, RAPF. Anguilla is a beautiful country. You can visit nearby restaurants, caves, beaches, and hang out with friends and family. You can participate in the holiday by doing something courageous. You can take inspiration from the favorite heroes. You can share about this holiday either in person or online and make people aware to let everyone know about this event. The capital of Anguilla is the valley and it has a population of 600 people and the capital city is very sparsely populated. Anguilla is part of the Caribbean, is the most northern island in the Caribbean. Anguilla has lovely beaches of around 33 beaches and have many been marked the world's best. In place of high-rise hotels, cruise ships, casinos, or shopping centers, you will find independently owned business run by locals and they are thriving business. The population in Anguilla was estimated at 15,094 in 2011. This is a sparsely populated island. The holiday revolves around the courageous acts of ordinary men and women. This helps people move past their fear zones. It's a day that inspires courage. Courage. We all love heroes and heroines. We should celebrate them always. People come together to celebrate a common cause, creating a sense of unity. With unity, a sense of nationhood is fostered, which is great for people of Anguilla. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us on this day. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link. Take care. Good night. And before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls, so that the certificates can be updated on the website. All the certificates will be issued at the end of the series. So keep joining us daily. Take care. Good night.